turned 76 years old. My name is Faye, and I don't know who I am. I know how that sounds. I raised 2 children. I was married 54 years. I cut half this town's hair for 45 of them. I was needed by everybody. But sit me down and ask me who I am, what I love, what I want, what's mine, and I go quiet. There's nobody home back there. I gave her away a long time ago, one little piece at a time, and I never even noticed I was doing it. It has taken me my whole life to say that out loud, and I'm a little ashamed of it. But I'm telling you, a stranger, because there's a real chance you are doing the very same thing right now, and you cannot feel it yet. I couldn't either. Let me tell you the day I finally felt it. Last month I went in to see a new doctor, and they hand you that clipboard, you know the one, with the long form, name, date of birth, medications. I could fill all that out in my sleep. And then near the bottom, there was a little line. It said, "What do you enjoy doing?" I expect they meant it for the heart or the stress, something medical, a simple question. And I sat there in that waiting room with the pen in my hand, and I could not think of a single thing to write, not one. 76 years old, and I could not name one thing that was just mine. Not for Earl, not for the kids, not for a customer, just for me, because I loved it. The girl at the desk smiled and asked if I needed help with anything. And I said, "No, honey, I'm fine," because that is the only sentence I have ever really known. I left that line blank. I handed it back blank. And I sat in my car in that parking lot, and that was the day I knew. So how does a woman get to 76 with a blank line where her own self ought to be? I'll tell you, because it is so ordinary you might miss it happening to you. I was the one who held everybody up. That was my whole life, and I was good at it. I had a little hair salon, one chair, right on my sun porch, 45 years. And do you know what a hairdresser really is? She is the person who listens. I heard every joy and every heartbreak in this town from that chair. Divorces, diagnoses, grandbabies. I knew which marriages were in trouble before the wives did. I knew everybody. And here's the thing I only understand now. Not one of them knew me, because I never once sat in the other chair. I never told a soul what I was carrying. I just kept the coffee hot and asked about them, and it was the same at home. Earl came in tired. I made it easy. The kids needed something. I was already up. My mother got sick at the end and needed somebody for 10 years, and that somebody was me, and I never said a word about what it cost. Every birthday in 2 families, I remembered. Every holiday, I hosted. Every casserole when somebody passed, I made it. I signed every card, Earl and Faye. I planned every trip we ever took and never once picked where I wanted to go. And any time there was a sliver of room for what I might have wanted, I'd hear myself say it, soft and automatic. "Oh, I'm fine. What do you need?" I thought that was love. I thought that was just being a good woman. I made myself so small and so useful and so available that there was finally no room left in my own life for me. And I did it with a smile. That is the part that still gets me. There was one woman who tried to warn me. There's always one. You just have to be willing to hear her, and I wasn't. Her name was Ruby. She sat in my chair every other Thursday for 30 years. Ruby was about 15 years older than me, and she was, by the standards of this town, a scandal. And I mean that as the highest compliment I can pay a person. Divorced twice. Wore red when everybody else wore beige. Traveled alone to Italy, to Mexico at 70 years old with nobody's permission. She ate dinner by herself at the nice restaurant and did not care one bit who looked. And she was, hands down, the happiest human being I have ever known. One Thursday, she was in my chair, and I was going on about everybody. I was running myself ragged for Earl, the kids, my mother, the church. And Ruby caught my eyes in the mirror. She didn't fuss at me. Ruby was never unkind. She just said something I have carried for years and ignored for most of them. She said, Faye, honey, you've made yourself so easy to need that nobody ever learned to know you. I laughed it off. I said, oh, Ruby, that's just being a mother. And I changed the subject the way I always did, and I asked about her. Ruby passed in 2015, and I want you to picture this because it is the whole point. Her funeral was full, standing room. People drove in from 3 states, not because she'd waited on them, not because she'd held them up, but because she had been somebody fully and unapologetically her whole life. And being near that is a gift people do not forget. She'd spent her one life as a person. I'd spent mine as a service. So here's the whole thing. The line I'd cross-stitch on a pillow if I were that kind of woman. I was needed by everyone and known by no one. There is a world of difference between those two, and it took me 76 years to feel it. Being needed is a wonderful thing. It is also a very good place to hide, I have learned, because as long as somebody needs you, for supper, for a ride, for a clean house, for a kind ear, you never have to do the frightening thing. You never have to sit still and ask what you want. You never have to be a whole separate person who might want something different than the people you love. I hid in being needed for 50 years. It looked like generosity. Everybody praised me for it. Nobody ever stops a woman to say, "You're disappearing." They just say, "I don't know how she does it all." And the better I got at it, the more invisible I became. Even to myself, especially to myself. Now I can hear some of you, because it is the very thing I would have said. Faye, that's not erasing yourself. That's just being a good mother, a good wife. That's what we do. That's love. And you are partly right, and I am not going to stand here and tell a single mother to go find herself instead of feeding her children. I'm not a fool, but I will tell you the lie that was hiding underneath it for me, because it ran my whole life. The lie is that a good woman is supposed to disappear into her people, that wanting one thing of your own is selfish, that your turn comes later, after everybody else is taken care of. Here is the truth nobody told me. Later does not come. The children grow, and they still need things. The work is never finished. And one day you look up and you are 76 with a blank line on a form. You are allowed to be a person and love them. It was never one or the other. I just believed that it was. And there is one more piece, and this one is the hardest to say. It was not just me. I shrank myself around Earl for 54 years. Let him pick the temperature, the television, the restaurant, never once said what I'd rather, told myself I just didn't mind. And I told myself it kept the peace. It did. It also kept me a stranger in my own marriage, and that is a lonely thing to be at a kitchen table with a man you love. But that is not the part that broke me open. The part that broke me open is my daughter, Connie. A few months back, I watched her at her own table, apologizing for taking up space, giving away what she wanted before anybody even asked, saying, "Oh, I'm fine," in a voice I have heard my whole life, because it is my voice coming out of my girl. I taught her that, not with a single word of advice. I taught her by example, 40 years of it every day, by being a woman who never once let herself want out loud. I raised her to be good. I forgot to raise her to be hers. Now, I did not make this to leave you in a sad place, because I've started to climb out of mine, and if a 76-year-old woman can begin, you surely can. After that day in the parking lot, I decided I was going to answer that little question, even if it killed me. What do you enjoy doing? I was going to find out. So I did some foolish things. I signed up for a watercolor class at the library on Tuesday mornings. I am terrible at it. My first one looked like a weather map. But for those 2 hours, I am not anybody's anything. I am just a woman learning to paint a pear, badly, and it has filled something in me that 50 years of being useful never touched. I started saying the word no, just a little. The first time I told the church I could not bake for the thing, my hands were shaking like I'd robbed a bank. The world did not end. And I started telling Earl the truth in small doses. I'd like the Italian place tonight. I want to see the ocean before I die. He looked surprised the first few times. Then he looked glad. He'd been married to a stranger too, it turns out, and he was happy to finally meet her. None of it was hard. It was only humbling. And I should have started 50 years ago. So here's what I'm asking you, and I'm not asking for me. I'm finding my way now. I'm asking for you. There is something you used to love, before you became everyone's everything. Before the job, the kids, the husband, the whole long list of people who need you. You painted, or you sang, or you wrote bad poems, or you sat by the water and did absolutely nothing. You already thought of it. It came up the second I said it. Do that thing this week, not someday. This week. 20 minutes will do. Do not do it well. Do not do it for anybody else, and do not earn it first. Do it because the woman who loved that thing is still in there, quiet and dusty, and waiting to see if you'll ever come back for her. She's not gone. I promise you that. I went and found mine at 76. You have got more time than I did. I'm 76 years old. I do not know how many years I have to become a whole person, but I have started, and I would not trade these last few months for the 50 quiet years I spent being everything to everyone and nothing to myself. If I could go back, I would not love them 1 ounce less. I would just have let myself be a person while I loved them. You are not the leftovers of everyone you have fed. There is a whole woman in there, and it is not too late to go and get her. So do me one kindness. Down in the comments, tell me one thing, just one, that is yours. The thing you would do this afternoon if, for 1 hour, nobody on this earth needed you. I will read every single one, and then go and do it. I'm Faye. Thank you for letting me talk.